Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 11th March today, and in this video we are going to solve some important questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. But as usual, before we will go to the discussion, I would like to give the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel you will get more connected with us. You know, to be more precise, in this video we are going to discuss three types of questions, and these questions would be taken from three different sources. So depending on it, the first set of questions which we are going to solve here would be taken from the current affairs. You know what we are going to do here? We will take up the most important article from the newspaper. We'll try to discuss them, we'll try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we'll try to derive the possible prelims question which can be framed from those particular articles. This is what we are going to do in the first phase of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the another part. Here we will discuss questions from the static portion. Currently we are discussing Indian polity, and in Indian polity we are discussing the Parliament of India under Indian Constitution, and under the Parliament of India we are discussing the Raj Sabha. So today we are going to discuss few more concepts related to Raj Sabha and derive the possible prelims question related to those concepts, so that it will give the idea what kind of questions can be asked in the exam. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the last part of our discussion. Here we will solve questions from the previous year question book. To me this is the most important part, because in here you will learn what is the vocabulary used by UPSC, what are the different trends UPSC follows for framing your papers, and also here we will learn what can be the different techniques, or we can say elimination techniques, which we can implement in exam if we don't have the proper knowledge, and also we will learn how we can implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. So this is in nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Now before we will start our discussion, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel. When you subscribe us, it motivates us to work more hard on these topics and provide you the best information possible. It is kind of an acknowledgement from your side to our work, so please do it. Please do subscribe us, do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative if you are getting, and please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you. With this, let's start with our discussion by solving the first question. Before that, I would like to mention one thing here. If you need the PDF of this of this video, please do write us to our mail. We'll definitely respond to that. So with this, let us start with the first question here. As here on the screen you can see, the question is with respect to the Manipur, the issue related to Manipur, the conflict in the Manipur. And if you see this question in the newspaper, and it is our first instinct would be it is very easy, we can easily solve it. But if we will, when once we will solve it, we will realize how difficult it was, how tricky question this is. Let's solve the question first, then we will go to the context of the question, why we brought this question here. As here on the screen you can see, the question says, which one of the following statements regarding the recent ethnic conflicts in Manipur is are correct? So please do read the question properly. What the question is asking us is regarding the recent ethnic conflict. Regarding the recent ethnic conflict, this is the key here. In this question, this part is the key. If you recognize the key, it becomes easier for you to answer the question. First statement, it says the conflict primarily stems from the issue of illegal immigration from neighboring countries. Most of us, if we will not realize the question, if we would not read the key of the question, what we will do, we will mark this correct. But unfortunately it is incorrect with respect to this question. Even though the issue of conflict, in the middle, in the northeast India, is mainly because of the illegal migration. But with respect to this question, it is asking us the recent ethnic conflict. It is not with respect to illegal migration, but it is with respect to this granting ST status to some to some ethnic to some community. So that was the major reason for that. So first question becomes incorrect. So that is why I told you this question may seem easy to you, but it is not that easy. It is tricky question, and usually this type of questions will make you make your way in the exam if you can solve these questions correctly. So first question is incorrect. Now let's apply. Now after just reading one statement, now let's apply elimination technique. Here we can eliminate option A, we can eliminate option C, we can eliminate option D, so we are left with option B, that is 2 and 3, that is the correct answer. So this is the same way you have to apply in the exam. When you are solving the question, once you read the statement, you find it is whether it is correct or incorrect, then look at the options, which option contains these statements. If it is incorrect, then mark those statements incorrect, and if it is correct, then go for the another one. So this is the way you should solve your paper in the exam. Now let's move to the another statement. Let's see what the statement says. The statement says the conflict has exacerbated existing tensions between the Metis and the Kuki communities. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Third statement, the question says the presence of insurgent groups has further complicated the situation. Nothing wrong to assume that. So this is also correct. Now, why we had discussed this question? This topic is in news from last 2 to 3 years. Even recently we discussed very much about Manipur and the presidential rule which was imposed on that. So why we discussed it here? The reason was that because there was a discussion in the newspaper which talked about what are the things to achieve under the presidential rule, what are the things government has center has to achieve under the presidential rule was imposed. It is not going to be easy for the government either. It is miles to go, as the title of the article was. So let's see what are the issues, which they have to conquer, which what are the issues to be conquered by the government in this phase. So first we have to realize the situation in Manipur. For example, in the hills, which community lies in the hills? It is Cookies lie in the hills, and in valley it is Metis. It is Metis. So what is situation here? If anything coming from the hills to the valleys, it is blocked by the Metis, and anything out from the valleys to the hills, it is blocked by Cookies. So in a way, impacting the economy of the state. And also people are very much hesitant to move outside their territories. So definitely there is a need for bringing in the free movement here. So there is definitely need for the bringing in a free movement. This is one of the challenge which the government has to come through, that this free movement should be brought in back. This should be brought in back, that people from the valley should be very much easy. It should be very much easy to for valley from the people from the valleys to go to the hills region, and from from the hills to the valleys. The first thing which the first target is the government has to achieve this free movement regime, free movement. Then the second thing, the blockades which they do at the hills and the valleys, they should be they should be neglected, they should be ended. Those there should be free movement in the economy. Then the second thing, according to the data, more than 3,000, it is estimated that more than 3,000 weapons were taken from the police stations, from the police itself, according to the data, by the insurgents belonging to these groups. So what is the demand? The demand of the government is right now to bring those weapons back to the government, because it is the centers, it is the government's property, so they have to bring those things back to the government. So this is the another issue which which the government has go to which government which this is another challenge which the government has to complete. Then the third thing, the demand of the Metis to grant them the UT status. This demand has to be neglected. Sorry, demand of Cookies to get the UT status. So this demand, the demand of Cookies to get the UT status, this has to be worked upon. There should be, government has to work with the people, and in a way, explain to them that it is not the solution. Giving them the giving them the UT status is not the solution, because there are other communities also who are living in the hills, like Nagas are there. It is not what they demand. So definitely it is the challenge in front of the central government. So that is the reason we had brought this question, because this discussion was in the news today with respect to it. And also, why it is in news? Because president of the president Lok Sabha is to discuss the presidential rule in the Manipur, as it is to be discussed within the 2 months. So this is happening right now. So with respect to this question, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context behind the question. Now let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. As here you can see, the question is with respect to the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. The question is with respect to Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. So the Food Safety and Standard. Before going to the context of the question, let's solve the question here. The question says, consider the following statements regarding the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. First statement: Food Safety and Standards Authority of India is a statutory body. 100% correct. Established under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. No, it is totally incorrect. The second part is totally incorrect. Indeed, it is a statutory body, but it is not established by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. So first statement is incorrect. By now applying the method here, we can eliminate option 1, C and D. We are left with option B. That would be the correct answer, and that we had established. Now let's have a look at other statements too. Second statement says, Food Safety and Standards Authority is responsible for laying down science-based standards for articles of food and regulating their manufacturing, storage, distribution, sale and imports. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Third statement: the Food Safety and Standards Authority 2006 empowers Food Safety and Standards Authority of India to set standards for food products and enforce them. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3. Now let's have a look at why we discussed this question. There was a discussion in the news article which basically talks about the flawed food regulations fuel the obesity crisis in our country. Recently we discussed how PM Modi, he mentioned it in the Mann Ki Baat that obesity is to be controlled. Right now, if we will look at the data given by the Economic Survey of 2025, it says approximately 25% of men and women in our country are suffering from obese or facing obesity issues. And also it highlights that 25% of men and women are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. So there is definitely issue of the obesity in our country. And what the author here says, it is not fully to be blamed by the people what they are consuming, but also there is definitely the blame lies with the authorities, as there had been the policy failures from the authorities side. So it is the authorities which are to blame on higher than the people who are consuming it. For example, he cites the example of a few items. For example, the junk food which we consume here, especially the lays which we consume here. If we look at the oil in which that is fried, it is usually palm oil. And if it is compared with other countries, that same lays would be fried in the healthier oil, and it would be much healthier for the people who are consuming it. Even though it would be junk, but it would be much healthier for the people who are consuming it. So in this way, the author is saying that it is the authorities who are not looking at these issues here. Then another thing is that the authorities are allowing to sell these substandard food items to be sold in India. These substandard food items are allowed to be sold in India. Then another issue is of the health star, which was brought in by Food Safety and Standards Authority of India in 2022 to highlight the ranking of the food, to star them according to their ranking. If it is very good, then 5-star. If it is below very good, then it would be 4-star, 3-stars, something like that. So with respect to this, the author here highlights that this giving the stars to the food does not actually solve the issue, because it is not that much understood. It does not highlight that thing which the color code would highlight. For example, if you will give the color code to the foods, if it would be red, then we know it is very dangerous. If it would be green, then we know it is very much healthy. And if it would be orange, we would hesitate to consume it, because this color code is much in our mind. It has impacted our psyche much more than the star system. So what the author here highlights, that giving the star system is not the proper solution. It is, in a way, it does not help in any way rather than giving this color code. Then another thing Another thing which he highlights is that the advertisement misleading problem with the advertisement, problem with the advertisement, because in India the misleading advertisement is something different. For example, if we will show some medicine and we will say that it will cure the COVID-19, as it was done during the COVID-19 season, I would call it, the case what I am mentioning to, if you had been 20% serious aspirant. So here, what the author says, that those misleading, the definition of misleading is very much different in India, because in India if you will only tell a lie, that is misleading. But what it should be, that for example, if there is an advertisement about any cold drink, suppose maybe any company, it only says that it does not tell us how much sugar is in it, how many spoons of sugar are in it. So that should be also told to the people who are consuming it. That is how they will, they will know that whether it is healthy for them or not. So this is what the definition of the misleading should be changed. And also, if anything is dangerous, it should not be put on the back of the food which we are consuming, but on the front side of the food. And also the author talks about the health tax should be imposed on it. If the food is healthier, then it should be levied less taxes. And if the food, it should be, for them the taxes should be very less. And if it is very harmful to the body, to the health, then food taxes should be very high, sin tax should be introduced. So in this way, these are some policy changes which the author here recommends the government should follow. So here I hope you understood the question as well as the context of the question. Now let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought here. The question, as you can see here, the question is about the Vanatu. Why it is in news? Because the Lalit Modi's Vanatu passport to be cancelled. That is the news. So this Vanatu is in news. So let's have the basic understanding about its location. The question says, first statement, Vanatu is an archipelago nation located in the Indian Ocean. No, it is not in Indian Ocean, but in South Pacific Ocean. So first statement is incorrect. So by this we can eliminate option A and option C. We are left with 2 and B and D. Now let's have a look at the second statement. Vanuatu is highly vulnerable to natural disasters, including cyclones, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. 100% correct. That is the nature of these islands. Third statement: the primary economic activity in Vanuatu is industrial manufacturing. No, it is not industrial manufacturing, but tourism. Tourism and agriculture is the primary economic activity. So third statement is also incorrect. Now we can eliminate option D. We are left with option B, that is 2 and 4 only. Fourth is Vanuatu is a member of the Pacific Island Forum. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, we established what are the correct answers. Correct answer is statement 2 and statement 4, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. It lies in the South Pacific, east of Australia and north of New Zealand. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context why we brought this question, because Lalit Modi's Vanuatu passport is to be cancelled. So what is the good thing about the passport? There you can buy the passport if you have the money. The same idea which has been brought, which the Donald Trump is talking about. So with this, let's move to another slide and see what question we had brought here. Here the question is with respect to SIPRI. As you can see, consider the following statements regarding the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Why we brought this question? Because it has given the data that it highlighted that India is the second highest importer of the weapons after Ukraine. So it gave who are the highest importers. At the top it is Ukraine from 2020. From 2020 to 2024, the data is given between, and in this between, Ukraine is at the top. After that it is India, and it also highlighted who are the top exporters. Top exporters is United States, as we know, then it is then it is France, and then it is Russia. So actually France overshadowed Russia because of the Karsa Act, which is implemented over the those nations who are not in good ties with US, as Russia is one of the nation with, along with Iran and North Korea. So because of that, the sanctions on Russia, the France overtook Russia. And also France became one of the major trading partner with respect to weapons to India. So this, I guess this much is enough for you for your basic information. Now let's solve the question here. And the question says, consider the following statements regarding the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI. First statement: SIPRI is an intergovernmental organization established by United Nations to monitor global arms trade. No, it is not established by United Nations. It is the it is very much it is 100% intergovernmental organization, but not established by UN. So first statement is incorrect. We can eliminate option A and option C. Now look at the second statement. SIPRI publishes annual report on global military expenditure, arms production, and international arms transfer. 100% correct. Third statement: SIPRI is headquartered in Stockholm, Sweden, and is primarily funded by the Swedish government. This statement is correct. It is 100%. It is headquartered in Stockholm, Sweden. So third statement is also correct. Fourth statement, it says SIPRI's data only covers the arms trade between permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. No, it does not cover only arms trade between these countries, but other countries too. So fourth statement is incorrect. So we are left with option B, that is 2 and 3 only, and these are the correct answers to this question. With this, let's move to the last question from the current affairs part. Let's see what question we had brought there. Here the question is about the Satkoshi Tiger Reserve. Let's see what is the question. Question says, consider the following statements regarding the Satkoshi Tiger Reserve. First statement: Satkoshi Tiger Reserve is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh. No, it is in Odisha. Second statement: the reserve is known for its unique gorge formed by the Mahanadi River. 100% correct. This is correct. Third, Satkoshi is a significant habitat for the critically endangered gharial. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3. So with this, we had completed our discussion with respect to the questions from the current affairs. Now let's move to the another part of our discussion, where we will solve a question from the static portion. Today's question would revolve around the presiding officers of the Rajya Sabha. So here we have to know that the presiding officer of Rajya Sabha have the responsibility to conduct the proceedings of the House. The Vice President of India is ex officio chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. You should know that. The Rajya Sabha also chooses from among its members a deputy chairman. There is a chairman who would be the Vice President of India, who would be the ex officio chairperson. Then there would be deputy chairperson. It is it is selected by Rajya Sabha among its members. Then Rajya Sabha also chooses from the members its deputy chairperson there, and also there is a panel of vice chairman in the Rajya Sabha, the members of which are nominated by the chairman and Rajya Sabha, by the chairman of Rajya Sabha. In the absence of chairman and the deputy chairman, a member from the panel of VC vice chairpersons presides over the proceedings of the House. So this much information is what would help you solve this question. Now let's solve the question here. Question says, consider the following statements regarding the presiding officers of the Rajya Sabha under the Indian Constitution. First statement: the Vice President of India is the ex officio chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. 100% correct. Second statement: the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha from among its themselves. No, it is not the Lok Sabha but the Rajya Sabha. So please keep a keen look at the questions here. You may think you know the question, you know the answer, but if you don't look at every word properly, you will end up marking the correct question incorrect, and it will hurt you more than if you mark any question which you don't know. If you won't attempt that, it would hurt you more than that. What I'm saying here: if you know the answer and you will mark that incorrectly because of your misconcentration, less concentration, it will hurt you very much. So please have a look at these questions. Here option 2 is incorrect. We can eliminate option B, we can eliminate option C, and we can eliminate option D. So we are left with 1 and 4 only. So what is the third statement? When the office of the chairman of the when the office of the both of the chairman and the deputy chairman are vacant, the President of India nominates a member of the Rajya Sabha to perform the duties of the person. It is totally incorrect. We saw that. Fourth statement: the chairman of the Rajya Sabha has the power to cast a deciding vote in case of a tie. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is statement 1 and statement 4 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option A. With this, let's move to the last part of our discussion, where we will solve a previous year question and see what question we had brought today. As you know, currently we are discussing the world geography, and this question was asked in year 2003. So definitely Macedonia would have been in news that time. So let's see what was the question. Question says, consider the following statement. First statement: in Macedonia, ethnic Albanians are in minority. Currently there is 23% of the Albanians, so we can say yes, the question is, first statement is correct. Second statement: in Kosovo, Serbians are in majority. No, Serbians are in minority there. Actually, Albanians are in majority. 91% of them are Albanians. So second statement is incorrect. So with respect to this question, the only statement which is correct is statement 1. So with this we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much, and have a nice day.